glue, bruh. Bless up, bless up, bless up. Hey friends, hey, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, we talk about all things lifestyle, beauty, and fashion and creator tips. I don't say that enough because I am a whole content creator out here, and I be sharing all the tips, the gems, and just my journey in itself. So I need to start saying that as well. And that is exactly what today's video is about. Today's video specifically, I'm going to be talking about how I'm going to be creating structure and routine as a content creator. All right, let's hop right into this video. I'm going to be breaking this video up into two parts to help break it down. Part one will be literally how I was operating and talking a bit about my shift as a content creator. Part two will be about what I'm actively doing now and what I'll be doing going forward. So just to give you guys a little background, if you're not familiar with me, I actually came from the content strategist, social media strategist background. I've actually pivoted quite a bit. I've had a few different businesses and different brands, but the most recent being the social media strategist. I ended up making the shift from content strategist, helping the people behind the scenes, to actually being a full-time content creator in 2023. Honestly, like November is when I really was like, okay, I'm going to be doing this content creation thing full-time. We're a year and some months into this game. I really want to buckle down and just really go all in with my content creation. And I know that if you are familiar with me, it does look like, girl, you are, what do you mean go all in? You've already been going all in. But no, I haven't. And that's why we're making this video. My most recent shift as of now is that I'm no longer taking clients. Back in 2023, I had committed to only taking 2 clients per quarter. And then at the end of last year, I kind of ended up with like 6 in the last quarter, and then that kind of trickled over into the beginning of this year, where I kind of opened my books up, and then the floodgates just opened up. And then before I knew it, I was really like taking on clients like heavily. That wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do. I was basically, as my friend described it, she said I had 1 foot in content creation and 1 foot in helping people, and I couldn't really give my all to my content creation, and I kind of felt myself going backwards into the whole reason why I only wanted 2 clients per quarter in the first place, which boiled down to me just not having enough time to actually create, because I wanted to be a full-time content creator. So back in March, I ended up announcing it to my followers that I would no longer be taking clients for quarter 2. I would love to say that I don't want to take any more clients ever, but there's something in me that it's just so hard to commit to, but I do feel that coming, especially with the other goals and the ideas that I have in mind. The thing is, I just can't, I no longer can do the one-on-one thing. And I think what allowed me to hold on to it so much was obviously my bills. But seeing what I made as a content creator, not even just last year, but the first quarter of this year, really opened my eyes. And I was like, okay, Naz, you are playing with your potential. It's time to buckle down. I ended up getting a question on Instagram, and I'll just answer that here before I dive into some of the things and the systems that I'm going to be putting in place in order for me to be an effective content creator. I'm going to say an effective content creator, because there's a difference between being a content creator, being an influencer, and being an effective creator. So I'm gonna dive into that as well. But I do wanna touch on this question. She basically asked me, how did I know that it was time for me to make changes as far as like no longer taking clients? And honestly, girl, it was literally because I had no time for myself. I had no time for myself, no time to create, and barely had the time and energy to do anything like having a real social life. And with me, I kind of had to weigh what was more important for me. And although I love helping the girls, I love helping people with their business, I love helping people with their brands, it just wasn't as fulfilling as it used to be. And I'm only specifically talking about the one-on-one type of clients. And I wanted to make that known because I am going to share something later that will allow me to still show up in those spaces and help people and do the thing that I love without feeling drained. And I don't know if she asked this question because she's also thinking of making a shift or thinking of making a pivot, but I will encourage you or anybody to really weigh out and assess what is bringing you joy and what is no longer bringing you joy, or what do you get excited about and what are you kind of dreading when it comes to like having to do that thing. That will tell you everything that you need to know. And that's exactly how I knew it was time to make some changes. And with me kind of doing research on myself, I also started going down the rabbit hole and looking at some of the goals that I made for myself back in 2023, as well as the beginning of this year, 2024. And I really had to assess and figure out, why haven't I reached some of the goals that I set for myself? I really had to figure out what was working and what wasn't working. I know one of the goals that I shared with you guys at the beginning of this year was that I wanted to hit 10K on YouTube. And I feel like there's no reason why I have not hit 10K other than me not taking it serious and not having any systems or structures in place. Like, I know I had a goal as far as like, oh, I want to post 2 times a week, or I want to do this, but I didn't really have a system in order for me to ensure that I would definitely have 2 videos to post each week, if you know what I mean. As my good girl Shay Nicole would say, I kind of was just going off the vibes. There honestly isn't anything wrong with that in the beginning, because you do want to build that consistency muscle. But for me, after I had some skin in the game, you know, as far as like grabbing the camera, getting familiar with vlogging, getting familiar with making designated videos, editing, all that stuff, I kind of was doing that. But it was time to buckle down and really take it serious and start showing up as the creator I knew I wanted to be. Going back to what was working and what wasn't working, I really had to sit down and be honest with myself, be real with myself. What was working and what was kind of like, girl, you need to try this again. I know for me, creating good quality content is like a no-brainer. Like, that's gonna happen anyways. I love me some good quality. But what a lot of people don't understand is that's only half the battle. So one thing that was working was me having really good quality content. But the thing that was not working was there was a disconnection between me and my audience. Because let's be honest, what good is having good quality content if it's not doing the things that you want it, that it should be doing? If it's not bringing in the correct people, it's not generating any sales or any clicks, basically not doing anything in order to push you closer to your goals. That's exactly when I knew I needed systems and structure. Another thing that wasn't working was aimlessly posting. So I had the idea, just like we all do, I got to create more content. I need to push out the content. I need to post. But what exactly are you posting? Are you talking about the things that are actually in your bio? Are you being consistent with your messaging? I really wasn't. Just out here creating random content just so I can say that I got something up, just to say I was being consistent. And to a point that does work, but there does come a time where you go beyond that. Like, the people already know who you are. So instead of just putting out stuff just to say you put out content, you need to be more direct and intentional. Because that was no longer working, that's exactly what I started doing and started being more intentional with my content. I really had to figure out what my goals were as a content creator from the gate. When I first came to the conclusion that content creating is what I wanted to do, it was literally that. I just want to create content. I didn't have like real goals. And looking back at it, I definitely, like, I think not having goals kind of allowed me to really pursue it and not get so hung up on the numbers and get so hung up on all of the insights and the analytical parts of content creating. But now that I'm a year into it, a year and some months into it, I now know that in order for me to be successful and effective, I really do have to have systems and structure in place in order for me to, one, not get burnt out, but also allow people to find me more easily, allow me to engage with my audience better, allow me to communicate with you guys better. That needs structure and systems and having real goals, because honestly, just saying like I want to get more followers is simply not enough, girl. For me specifically, that has never been the goal. Yes, I want visibility. Yes, I do want followers. I want the right people to find me. But at the end of the day, I just want my content to reach exactly who it's meant for. And I'm gonna let God handle the rest. I was inspired to make this video because I had a conversation with my husband last week and I literally was exhausted, y'all. So tired. I plopped on the bed and I was like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. His response to me was, what do you have to do tomorrow? And I literally was laying on the bed and I was looking at the ceiling and I said, I have no idea. I have no idea, but I know that I have so much to do. Literally in that moment, I said, oh no, we can't operate like this. I see where this is going. And no, ma'am. I got so exhausted by his question asking me what I had to do tomorrow because I couldn't necessarily think of something that I needed to do, but I knew things needed to be done. I knew editing needed to be done. I knew filming needed to be done. I knew pitching. I knew all of these different things needed to be done, but I did not have a structure or system on like, as far as like what that even looked like in order for me to get all of those things done. And I just named 3, but there was a lot that needed to be done. And to be honest, I know that I'm not the only one that felt like that in that time. I know that there are tons of other creators that are kind of just vibing out and just doing things as they come into them. And for me, I know that I need some type of routine or else I'm literally like not going to get anything done. I thrive off of a good routine. And because I just recently made that shift from not having clients anymore, which I had a routine on the days I would take calls, on the day I would do their work, on the day I would follow up with calls or schedule emails or have meetings. I had all that structured out, but now that I'm like fully immersed in just focusing on myself, focusing on my content creating journey, I now need a structure for that specifically in order for me to be successful again. I know I'm gonna keep saying, I know I didn't say that a few times, but listen, we're trying to be successful creators, and that's based off of whatever that looks like for you. And for me, that means having an effective routine that's not going to drain me, that's not going to burn me out, but also is going to allow me to get the rest that I need, allow me to create when I need to create, edit when I need to edit, and not feel like I am literally doing this 24/7. So before we hop into what I'm going to be doing going forward, I want to share just a few of my goals. One being visibility. I want visibility across all of my platforms, and that's just honestly the platforms that I'm being active on. So TikTok, if it's still here, Instagram, and YouTube. I really want to execute my messaging and my content overall so you guys know exactly what you can expect each time you see an upload from me, whether that be on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. Still trying to hit that 10K, girl, okay? That was my Q1 goal, but now I'm shooting for the end of April. We're gonna see what happens, but I feel like having a structure and a routine will definitely get me closer to that. I also want to secure more speaking engagements and events. Obviously, I want to make money, so I want to secure more partnerships. And I really want to plan a retreat. If you guys aren't familiar, I've done all type of different events. I also went on tour, teaching other girls about content, helping them build out their structures and their strategies and things like that. But I want to do it in a different setting, especially with me being fully immersed in being a full-time content creator. That is definitely like at the top. I've had this idea for years, literally since 2019, but I've always pushed it back. And now I feel like it's the perfect time for me to introduce that. So here's what I'm going to be doing going forward in order to create a solid and effective routine and build a little structure in my business. First thing that I did was create a schedule for myself as a content creator. Because I'm working for myself, I know a lot of y'all can relate. I need some type of structure because when we're at home, we pretty much can do whatever we want. So like we really have to hold ourselves accountable in order to do the things we should be doing. And I wasn't doing that before, but now I am because I have a whole schedule, girl. And when I mean schedule, I mean schedule for days that I'm shooting, days that I'm editing, what I'll be batching with actual dates. Everything has a date now. Before, I kind of would make a to-do list in the beginning of the day and be like, okay, this is what I want to do. And I would end up getting like one thing done or maybe 2, but then I would get a list of other things done that weren't even on that list at all. And in order for me to be an effective content creator, I need a schedule that is going to work for me to help me get closer to my goals. I now know that I have to plan my content, and planning my content isn't anything new. If you are familiar, I use Milanotes. It really just boils down to really sticking to the plan that I put in place, sticking to the content that I put in place in order for me to reach some of those goals that I just shared with y'all. I now have a specific day when I'm doing long form content. I have a specific day when I'm doing short form content. I have a specific day when I'm batching, when I'm editing, when I'm researching, all of these different things, all the different variables that go into creating content and being a successful content creator. I now have a schedule for those things. And let me tell y'all, it's only been a week, but I am loving what I built out for myself, because seeing when this YouTube video is supposed to be recorded by, when it's supposed to be edited by, when it's supposed to be up by, like having actual dates is a game changer. And I don't feel stressed. I now know, like if my husband asks like, what you gotta do tomorrow, I could be like, oh, I got this, and this, not let me think about it, or I want to do this, but I don't know if it's gonna get done. I have it literally built out on the calendar. Speaking of calendars, girl, I had to buy a desk calendar because the phone is cute, the laptop's cute, like that'd be cute, but I needed a paper calendar that I could put on my desk so I can actually see what is going on. I need to see the full month. I need to see the full month. I don't want to be flipping through no pages. I want to know exactly what it is that I need to do. Let me look at that. Let me focus on just those things for that day. And you know, I'll adjust if needed, but the goal here is to create a non-negotiable routine in order for me to really build a solid foundation as a content creator. In addition to the calendar, I still use Milanote. I still use my phone, but I needed that calendar, girl. You got to do what works for you, honey. And the desk calendar is doing the thing for me. And it just works so much better instead of like, you trying to come up with content ideas the day before or the day of and then film it and then edit it. And then it's like, okay, you did that, great. But now what about your other videos? What are you going to do? You going to do that every single day? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I love that I have an actual real to-do list that I can stick with and a schedule that I can stick with in order for me to maintain my momentum. Another thing is really utilizing assistants. Now, I did bring my best friend on to help me as my project manager last year, but to be honest, I was not utilizing her the best that I could. Like little tasks here and there, but not to the full capacity of what I know she could be doing in order to help me. That has changed, girl. We are delegating and we are doing it the right way, okay? Like, let them people help you. Let the people that want to help you help you. Don't worry about, especially if they're coming to you, do not worry about like, I don't have enough money to pay them. I don't have to do, you can figure something out. Okay, whether it is time, maybe it's your sister, she got kids. Girl, I will babysit your kids if you help me shoot these pictures or help me capture this content or help me get these angles or help me, like, y'all better use the brain that God gave you, okay? Use the people that are around you. I will always remember, well, I can't remember the quote verbatim, but it went along the lines of like, how dare we mishandle the people that God placed in our lives? Don't be afraid to ask. You all know, use your discernment. There are people out here that are willing and wanting to help you in order for you to get to the next level. Don't sleep on them people, okay? So that is the next thing. I am utilizing my assistants. I'm utilizing my husband and my best friend to help me. We are all on one accord. We all know what each other's job is. And I love that for me because I no longer have to operate where it's like, well, I have to do this thing because if it doesn't get done, then this thing isn't going to be, I can literally focus on content creating. And I love that for me. This next thing I have not invested in yet, but she's coming too, okay? And that's an editor, specifically for long form content, because if you know, you know, girl, it takes up so much time. But in the meantime, I got my little schedule that's gonna keep me up with all my editing. So yeah, but an editor's coming. And that's another thing, really sitting down and figuring out what you need help with will help you understand the areas of where you can get assistance or where you need to be hiring or, you know, what you could be focusing your energy on more. Something else I'm doing is also being intentional about the platforms that I'm on. So with me wanting to grow on YouTube, I can tell y'all right now, I was not giving shorts any love, like no time of day, honey. Even though I had all the short form content, I was being so lazy as a content creator and not putting my videos on that platform, which is crazy because you have all of this content. Y'all need to focus. I'm just in this space where I'm like, I'm running it up on every platform that I'm on. Like, I don't care if I got content, it's going up. It's going up somewhere. And so what I started doing, and shout out to the girl, I can't remember her name, but the girl on Threads that told me she scheduled her YouTube shorts. I have been scheduling my YouTube shorts now. As of today, it's been like a week and a half, and I have gained almost 400 new subscribers. That normally would take probably 5 months. 400 new subscribers. And that's why I'm like, girl, we might just hit 10K because we just hit 8K. We're at like 8,100 now. Quit playing with me, girl. And even outside of YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, having a strategy for my LTK, for my links, was also something that I was dropping the ball on, but now no more, girl. We got structure. And people are always asking for links. People are always asking for something, like where I got something. And not even just that, I'm constantly posting stuff in my stories and posting stuff when I am uploading a reel or uploading a picture. And I'm tagging stuff. I'm tagging the brands. I'm tagging the things. But girl, I'm missing out on money. because I'm not actually taking the time to set up the automations for like ManyChat or LTK or just linking the products. So now I know to delegate that to my best friend, which we already got my girl set up. Okay, she's on her way. But just thinking about all the different areas and where I was missing money, where I was missing opportunities, definitely helped me figure out the strategies and the systems that I needed in order to, you know, I'm gonna say it again, be successful. Another thing that I did was upgrade my equipment. Now, you do not need to do this in order for you to be an effective content creator. But for me, that is something that I feel like I deserved, especially with how consistent I've been. And then just coming off of the success of celebrating 1 year as a full-time content creator. I deserved. So I did upgrade my equipment. I do now have a Canon R8. I invested in a new camera and a new lens, which is the 24mm lens, which I'm filming on right now. Still trying to get the hang of it, the settings and all the things, but your girl's upgraded. And I also upgraded with my mic. Okay, the quality is always going to be upgraded for me. And I don't know about y'all, but it's kind of like when you go to the gym and you buy new gym clothes, it makes you want to show up, it makes you want to work out, it makes you want to show out at the gym. It's the same thing with me with new gear. It makes me want to shoot, it makes me want to create content, it makes me want to turn the camera on. And it's been a little minute since I've upgraded at all. I mean, I had my G7X camera, I think I got her in 2018, 2017. My Canon 90D, I've had her for a minute, but I knew I wanted a full frame camera, and not just to record on, but to get good quality photos on. Like, your girl is leveling up in all areas, okay? With my fashion content, with my beauty content, with my lifestyle content, with my content creator content, all of the things, okay? And I just knew with the direction of me leveling up and really taking my content serious, I wanted to also level up my quality of my content, the pictures of my content, the video, the sound, all the different things. I'm taking notes. I'm taking inventory as the girls are clocking me. I got one bad comment on my video about the quality of my sound, and I said, oh no ma'am. Oh no ma'am, I will be upgrading. So hopefully this is better, Miss Ma'am. And in no way am I saying this is something that you need to do in order for you to be a successful content creator, because you definitely could just be shooting on your phone. Which brings me to my next point. Even though I upgraded my equipment, I'm definitely still going to very much be shooting on my phone. So I invested in another tripod too, because I know what my strategy is for TikTok specifically, showing more organic and raw content, more phone content, not so production content. I knew that I needed another tripod because all of the ones that I used be used up with my other cameras. So I was like, let me go ahead and invest in another tripod. That way, when I am shooting something that is more like production-y, more big camera content, I also can have my phone on the side and be shooting the same thing or capturing the same thing, but on a more chill, more relaxed, more raw approach. My strategy for TikTok is way different than Instagram, and my strategy from Instagram is different than YouTube. So you got to make it make sense for you and your platforms, and know exactly what your goal is for each platform. And the next thing is obvious. Like, I'm just done making excuses. I'm done making excuses as to why I can't do certain things or why I can't show up the way that I desire to show up, because it's getting me nowhere. It's literally getting me nowhere. And I haven't been making excuses for a little minute, okay? But I want to continue to not make excuses, or find an area where it is easier for me to just be like, you know what, let me push this off to the next day, let me push this thing off. No, the time is now. And how arrogant of us to even think that we will have more time, okay? Like, no, the time is now. I'm done questioning myself. I'm done questioning my worth. I'm done questioning my content, my value, none of that. Soon as I stopped thinking about all of that and just started showing up how I desire to show up, it started showing through, and I started getting comments like this and like this and like this, and DMs, and people are seeing exactly what I want them to see, because I'm not questioning anything no more. I'm truly walking in my purpose and standing on my value. That means understanding what my audience wants. Of course, remembering my why, remembering the things that I prayed for. I mean, I inspire and motivate and encourage other women to have the audacity to show up for themselves. How dare I not do that for myself? Girl, I was out here playing small. Girl, I had to remind myself, like, you indeed are that girl. Another thing, I'm also allowing God to take the driver's seat, like, fully. Boy, you got it. It's all you. I truly believe that all God is asking for from me is to be obedient and to not fumble the things that He has placed in my hands, not to fumble the things that I prayed for. Truly staying rooted in his will and his provision for my life, for my goals is literally the focus. And to further add to that, I'll also just be taking inventory of my heart posture during this time. I feel like I am finally growing and things are picking up the pace, but there are those moments, we all have those moments where we are like, where we're like, why isn't this happening fast enough? Why isn't this, you know, getting the engagement I thought it would? Or why isn't this getting the visibility that I thought it would? Why am I not here? Why is this person there? Like, it's so easy to do the why not me? When's my time? Oh, I wish. Just calm down, girl. It's gonna happen. And that's exactly why I'll be taking inventory of my heart posture during this season that I'm currently in. Though it may seem like I'm doing a lot for someone that is claiming to be patient, I mean, I have a whole structure, I have a whole system now. I am still being patient because I believe, because I have faith, and because I'm trusting that the things that I want, they're already in commute, honey. They're already on their way to me, okay? I just have to be patient. But it doesn't mean be patient and stagnant. I know that these things are on its way to me. What I mean by being patient is just being patient and knowing that these things are on their way to me because I'm doing the work. I'm putting the systems in place. I'm putting structure behind the things that I need to be doing, because we all know that faith without work is dead, okay? So instead of asking questions like, why is this taking so long? Because truthfully, I have no room to be discouraged or upset if I know that I'm doing exactly what it is that I should be doing. I feel like that's when creators get frustrated the most, is when we do put out a piece of content that was thought of the day before or the night before and it doesn't perform well, or it doesn't, you know, it doesn't do what they thought it should do. We get frustrated in those moments because at that point, I feel like we're performing for the algorithm. We're performing for the algorithm. We're performing for the views. We're performing for the likes. But if you really want to do this content creating thing, it has to come from your heart. It has to come from a point of intentionality and a bigger picture than just the views and the brand deals and all the things, because those things are going to come. And that's why a lot of content creators be mad when, you know, something doesn't perform well. Like, I get it. I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my stuff too. But at the end of the day, you cannot let that be, you know, the determining factor on whether you're going to keep showing up or not, or even just keep talking about people not supporting you or people not seeing your content or whatever the case may be. Show up for the people that are already there. I feel like that kind of determines like who is truly rooted in something outside of wanting a brand deal or wanting the followers and stuff like that, opposed to somebody that's really doing this because they're passionate about it. They have a real why. Their why is rooted in something deeper than gaining more followers. Lastly, the thing that I'm going to be focusing on will be rest. Resting was not something I did last year, and I am not proud of that at all. Like, at all. It's actually kind of sick. Although I'm not proud of not really getting any rest last year, I honestly can say I didn't have time to rest because I was too busy working with other people or helping other people grow their businesses, grow their brands, think for them, strategize for them. And in my free time, I was creating or trying to create for myself, trying to film, then edit, and then post, and then do all those different things for myself. There was no free time. It was clients, and then it was me, and then barely any time for anybody else. And with that being said, I had no time to decompress. I had no time to rest. I had no time to shut my brain off, because at the end of the day, I am a creative. I love I love creating. I get excited about the editing process. I get excited about the lighting. I get excited about the gadgets. I get excited about creating in general. So naturally, my brain just would not shut off. When I would have free time, I'm like, finally, I can go shoot this. I can go do this. Not, girl, go to sleep. Go rest somewhere. I didn't have that, but we're not doing that, baby. So just like I prioritized upgrading my equipment or setting the goals that I have for myself, and I can prioritize time now, I will now be prioritizing rest. And I can do that because I got a schedule now. Y'all don't understand. I am so happy about this little schedule. All right, friends, that is all I got for you. I am about to take this thing so serious. Like, if y'all already thought I was showing up consistently, now y'all really about to be sick of me, okay? And that's because I got systems and I got a little bit of structure now and a schedule. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and comment, girl, if this helped you in any way. Tell me what your favorite takeaway was from the video. Go ahead and drop it below. Let's talk. Let's kiki. Also, if you like more sit down videos like this, go ahead and leave your suggestions in the comments. I already have some topics because y'all know I'm over here working up my little schedule. But if there is something that you specifically want me to talk about, I'm more than down for that, because I'm actually liking the little sit down situation, like just us talking to one another. So yes, of course, be on the lookout. New videos are uploading weekly at this point. Oh, go ahead, make sure that you subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out.